have. But yeah, game number 1 here. Volcano versus Eve. Eve is going to be starting off on the blasters. And never mind. Swap's on the blasters. They're going to be sticking with the cannon. And I can't say I'm surprised. I mean, like I said before, they have a bunch of cannon legends to pick here. They're a cannon main, so no surprise they're going to be sticking with this cannon here. But Volcano actually going to be starting off on the side, and we've seen from the last game against TBS how amazing the site was, and the gauntlets as well too. I can't count on his gauntlets. His gauntlets was phenomenal. The way he's played gauntlets, the way he's played this Vortex pick in general has been amazing, and it just shows, you know, his mastery in this legend, especially because it's level 100 as well too. We definitely have an interesting set on the way, folks. Starting off already, Eve has the lead, but Volcano has Eve off stage, and you know is getting damage, and it is tied up right now. And currently, Eve has the blasters in hand, probably looking for maybe a D-Light recovery, maybe a signature, perhaps, maybe a Sayer, D-Light Sayer. Okay, I guess the dare go for the Sayer. The Sayer doesn't hit. Just throws out a random down stick, but Volcano gets a punish. Nice. The D-Light, just D-Light into recovery. It leads to the KO. And Eve takes that first stock. The damage that Eve is at right now, Volcano could definitely go ahead and close this one off and tie this one up very quickly. Gets a nice Sayer. Goes for the weapon throw. Now looking for the edge guard. Eve somehow makes it back. Goes for a random GC down sig. We're seeing a lot of down sigs coming out from Eve. The end light just sends him far away. Doesn't lead to the KOs yet, but the weapon throw. I don't think, yeah, you didn't touch there. That's a Sayer. Just put that point in the exclamation mark. What Volcano just did there, and tied up the game to the set count side. Not set count, the stock count. And it's an even game right now in game number 1. Oh my goodness, this cannon from me. It's really something to watch. The side sig now, the end sig doesn't connect. That side sig, though, look how far that sent Volcano, and the damage that Volcano is at. But Volcano, it's his time to answer back. He has the scythe in hand. He's getting the damage, but can he get enough damage before he goes down to his last stock? And Eve gets that KO. Now has to juggle weapons. Gonna be obviously sticking on this cannon. But Volcano has the hills to climb. But he has the gauntlets in hand. He gets a down sig. Now looking for the edge guard. Doesn't get anything. Just the down sig. That was it. He doesn't get anything big from that. But the gauntlets is still cooking, folks. It is still cooking as he gets that ground pound. Leads to the KO, and it's tied up once again in the stock count with a slight damage lead going towards him. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Azure, to that for the raid. Huge appreciate to that. That's gonna be one of our other casters in a moment here. But let me stick on this game here because Eve is cooking right now. He's cooking Volcano, and oh my goodness, I can't believe that Eve has right now. It's pretty crazy. Can Volcano come back from this? I mean, we've seen it before, but he has his right in hand. If any weapon he can do it on, it can definitely be this side. But does he have Eve figured out? That's a question. No, he doesn't. Gets D-Light into the mirror. Eve is going to be taking game number 1. Amazing stuff. 551 damage to 465. And I just want to get the seeds here. It's seed number 4 versus seed 7. So, you know, not that big, but it's still a pretty sizable seed difference. And I think PR difference. I think Eve is like PR 13 and Volcano's what, 30 something, I believe. Could be wrong, but I believe it's something like that. But you know, Eve with a pretty good game number 1. Yeah, it's no surprise that Eve is going to be sticking with this Isaiah pick. You know, from their set against who was it? Who did they play before? Who did we see Eve find on stream? It was Chosen. We've seen a lot of picks coming in from Eve, especially when the canon. We saw the Lin Fei. We saw what else were there? The Sidra, the Onyx even. even the Dusk, which was a pretty crazy pick to start off with. But now we're seeing here, they probably settled down on this Isaiah pick and you know what, man? We're going to be sticking with this Isaiah and seeing how it works out here. And it worked for game number 1, but can it work in game number 2? Or does Volcano have he figured out? Because right now, the way that Volcano is performing, it seems like that is the case. The way that Volcano is playing, the way he's able to build up the damage, the way that he's reading Eve right now. On this side, on this Gauntlets, on this Mordex pick in general. It's phenomenal. And it's just the start of the game, it could go any way, but it seems like Eve just doesn't touch and it's going to fade off into the distance here. And Volcano is going to have the choice of weapons. No surprise, going to be sticking with the site. It seems like the site has been working out throughout this set. Can Volcano build a nice lead for themselves here and, you know, make game 2 a little bit easier for themselves here and tie this game up 1-1. Tie this set up 1-1. Eve kind of in an uncomfortable position with this not Gauntlet, sorry, this blasters, you know, definitely, you know, not something they probably want a cannon, but you know, given the health that Volcano's at, probably looking for a GCD Light recovery, maybe a GCD Light Sair, but you know, it's just unable to, you know, find that killing blow, and Volcano is actually just kind of, you know, abusing it and building a lead for himself, like I said, you know, he needs to do, and he's doing a wonderful job into tying up the damage, but more so holding this first stock. And as I say that, Eve gets a KO, Caster's cursed, but stocks are tied up. But the lead that Volcano has right now is pretty significant. But if anybody could come back from a lead, it's definitely Eve. Eve just has to find something huge right now over on his cannon if he wants to take this game number 2, if he wants to tie up this game number 2, in fact. Oh my goodness, with the ground pound, that could be it. The deal, that's it. That's all it takes. That is all it takes. Just a ground pound and a dare, and Eve just completely, he hits him with the Uno reverse card and was like, you know what, Volcano, I'm still in it in game number 2. You did an amazing job, but guess what, man? 2 moves is all it takes to turn this game around, and that's what Eve just did here. And now Eve has the lead, and man, Eve is just locked in right now. It's tied up in the stock count, folks, but a damage lead is right now in favor of Eve. And what started off as a Volcano game is now, it's an even game right now between Eve and Volcano. And like Michael Castor Williams said in previous sets, man, it's never mind. I'm not gonna continue that train of thought. Eve gets the KO, and that damage that Volcano put out, man, Eve just went crazy. In 14 damage, was able to claim those 3 stocks and take game number 2. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what's the change here coming in from Volcano. I mean, this Mordex pick, you've been sticking with it throughout the tournament, right? Level 100 Mordex, of course. I know Volcano has a deep pool of legends. I mean, aside from the Mordex, there's a Tesca I've seen before. I believe he won the last Fright Fiesta with that Tesca pick. But it just seems like no matter what Volcano does, you can just make that comeback. And, you know, at a stage like this where we're in the top 8 of today's tournament, you know, you gotta expect that from both of these players. And, you know, as I was about to say in the last game, so it's rudely interrupted by Eve. Anything can happen. Anything can happen in the tournament setting, and that's what Eve showed us in game number 2. But can Volcano right now, he's at a deficit right now in game number 3. Can he make that huge comeback? I mean, that was, honestly, that looked like that would have been it. But all that was just nice damage on Eve there. But Eve gets a nice dare, leads to the KO, and taking that first stock off of a Volcano. But Volcano was able to answer back, was able to put up some damage at least. It isn't looking like all hopes are lost yet for Volcano. All the Volcano fans in chat. Now he has the gauntlets. Can he close off this first stock from Eve? It's question in hand here. The down sig, nice punish though, gets a recovery. Leads to the KO and now has Scythe in hand. Eve, man, over on this cannon, it's a force to behold. Oh my god, the ground pound, the down sig, and that's just gonna be the stop. And oh my goodness, Eve in such a quick fashion. The way that he plays cannon, the saves, the moves, it's just so crazy. He makes it look so easy. And once again, Volcano has a hill to climb. And it's a pretty huge hill, given that you're on game number 3. Eve has you on match point, in the loser's side. Winner goes on into the top 4 to fight Marker. What's going to be your comeback, Volcano? Is this going to be your moment, or is Eve going to be taking this set 3-0? Fight back, Volcano. Fight back. He gets it down, see? Sends him far away. Damage is even up. He has the gauntlets in hand. Goes for the ground pound. Nothing more. The GC sidelight into the recovery, and Volcano takes the second stock off of Eve. You gotta get something huge here on Eve, and that is not an easy task, given that Eve already picked up the cannon. You see, Eve is just kind of wetting it out. Gets a nice D-light into the nair, and that's gonna be a 3-0. Eve is going to be going into the top 4.